We are very fortunate to have our Grace Amrita Madhavi Mataji from India. And Mataji is going to enlighten us from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 13, Verse 7. Hare Krishna Mataji, you may take over the call when you're ready.
Hare Krishna, everyone. This is my humble obeisances. Can we start then now?
Yes,
Is it
Mataji.
recorded? Yes. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum nangayate girim yatkrapatmaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hari Om Tat. Okay. Thank you, my dear devotees. We're going to start with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 13, verse number 7. Before that, let's see the breakup once. So, first verse to 10th verse, it talks about qualities of a sannyasi. The title of the chapter is The Behavior of a Perfect Person. And 11th verse to 46th verse, conversation between Prahalada and an Avadhuta Brahmana. So, furthermore, breakup from first to third verse, we have seen conduct of a sannyasi. Fourth to sixth verse talks about consciousness of a sannyasi. And today we are going to see from the seventh verse onwards, 7th to 10th verse talks about other qualities of a sannyasi. And 11th to 20th verse talks about Prahlad Maharaj meets a Brahmana and inquires from him. 21st verse to 23rd verse talks about the Brahmana glorifying Prahlad Maharaj. 24th verse to 34th verse talks about the Brahmana describing the futility of material happiness. 35th verse to 37th verse, the two gurus of the Brahmana, the bee and the python, are discussed. 38th verse to 41st verse, lifestyle of Avadhuta Brahmana, that is eating, habits of eating, dressing, sleeping, and traveling are discussed. 42nd verse to 46th verse, giving up the material body and self-realization is discussed. So now we will go to Canto 7, Chapter 13, text number 7. Nasachastreshu sajjeta. Sorry. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 13, text 7. Nasachastreshu sajjeta nopajiveta jivika vadamstyajet tarkan paksham kamcha na samshrayet. So, Canto 7, Chapter 13, Text 7, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Literature, that is a useless waste of time. In other words, literature without spiritual benefit should be rejected. One should not become a professional teacher as a means of earning one's livelihood, nor should one indulge in arguments and counter arguments, nor should one take shelter of any cause or faction. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. A person desiring to advance in spiritual understanding should be extremely careful to avoid reading ordinary literature. The world is full of ordinary literature that creates unnecessary agitation in the mind. Such literature, including newspapers, dramas, novels, and magazines, is factually not meant for advancement in spiritual knowledge. Indeed, it has been described as a place of enjoyment for crows, Tadvayasam Tirtham. Anyone advancing in spiritual knowledge must reject such literature. Furthermore, one should not concern oneself with the conclusions of various logicians or philosophers. Of course, those who preach sometimes need to argue with the contentions of opponents, but as much as possible, one should avoid an argumentative attitude. In this connection, Srila Madhvacharya says, Aprayojana paksham na samshrayet na नाप्रयोजन पक्षी स्यान् न वृथा शिष्य बंधकृत न चोदाशिन शास्त्राणि न विरुद्धानि चाभ्यसे न व्याख्यायोपजीवेत न निषिद्धान् समाचरेत् एवं भूतो यतिर्याति tad eka sharano harim means there is no need to take shelter of unnecessary literature or concern oneself with, with many so-called philosophers and thinkers who are useless for spiritual advancement. Nor should one accept a disciple for the sake of fashion or popularity. One should be callous to these so-called shastras, neither opposing nor favoring them, and one should not earn one's livelihood by taking money for explaining Shastra. A sannyasi must always be neutral and seek the means to advance in spiritual life, taking full shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord. So, here we are seeing how a sannyasi should be. And we remember Shikshastaka, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. So, a leader or a sannyasi is a first class leader. A leader or a sannyasi must not be waiting to accumulate lots of followers, lots of wealth, or na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, or lots of people from the opposite sex to follow us. No. So then what should be our mood? Our mood should be just our service to our spiritual master. And for the sake of serving spiritual master, we should be serving all other living entities around us who are willing to learn mm, Krishna consciousness. So here you see the last line says a sannyasi must always be neutral and seek the means to advance in spiritual life, taking full shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord. So a sannyasi, it is very clear. Neutral means na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. He is not going to go after anyone or anything. And then what is he going after? He is going after pleasing his spiritual master. How to please Krishna? Please your spiritual master. And spiritual master, if he is pleased, Krishna is pleased. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. If spiritual master is happy, Krishna is happy. So here it is told that he should seek the means to advance his spiritual life, taking full shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord. What actually this lotus feet, service to the lotus feet means? Service to the lotus feet means simply serving Krishna with a submissive heart, accepting all plans of Krishna as it comes, the way we like or the way we don't expect. Anything happens, we accept it as Krishna's plan, respectfully, lovingly, as if it's the most holiest situation for us. With that worshipful attitude, we accept the circumstance depending on the Lord, and we should see how much more we can serve in the situation. The more we serve, the more better it is. So, my dear devotees, this time when I went to Mayapur Dham, it was the last day. We had gone to Radha Madhav temple, just came out of the door, and we were purchasing some prasadam. At that time, my daughter was purchasing prasad, and I was sitting on the bench, and I saw His Grace Gauranga Prabhu coming, through that way. The minute I saw, that was the first time I saw him live. The minute I saw, I remembered how my husband had sent the poster of how Gauranga Prabhu is, cooking for 1 lakh people for this, what is that? Uh, uh, what is that? Prayagraj. Prayagraj Deep people are going there, no? From India. Crores of people are there at Prayagraj. Floating crowd, of course. Every day, few lakhs are there. So for them, ISKCON is cooking and they're serving. And among the ISKCON cooks, the main leader, head cook is our Gaurang Prabhu, cooking, cooking. So that photograph actually was circulated saying he's an IITian and he's surrendered to ISKCON and he's the head cook and he's the guide and he's arranging 1 lakh people every day and things like that, something like that. That my husband saw and he's asking, you know him? You know, is he from, where is he from? And all that. So I remembered that my husband also was attracted, towards our Gaurang Prabhu. So the minute I saw him, I ran to him with folded hands and I begged him that, Prabhu, the way you serve, how much you are serving. He's writing books, he's leading the GV Institute, he's going around for yatras, taking leadership in cooking, management. Before cooking, what are the arrangements to be done? He goes there, he inspects, he personally cooks, he guides, he leads, he writes, he preaches. My God, I could just see, I could just see the devotional service in a personality form walking around. You know, I see my spiritual master like that, and I could see this person like that. So, with folded hands, I went to him and I begged him, please bless us that we too may serve like you. And then I was comparing what's the difference between him and most of us. I was walking so fast, He paused because I was begging from my heart. He took a minute to see us. Immediately, my other family members came and I said, please bless. He said, you are already serving. I said, no, no, I am not doing service like you. I am not doing nothing. Please bless. We also want to serve so much, as much as you serve, we want to serve. Please bless. And then, he said, okay, I can at least take a photograph with you. Then we all stood with him, took a photograph. He gave his visiting card to a family member, and then he left. Um, but um, the photograph in the camera is one thing, but the photograph remained in my heart. And ever since, I've been thinking there's a lot of difference between the service they do and the service we do. We are doing service after taking care of our family. Then, with the time that remains, we are doing our service. But he is not having a family of his own. Whole world is his family, and one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. They're just running around, like a train also stops at the last stop for several hours. These people don't stop. Whether my spiritual master or this Gaurang Prabhu or maybe many other ISKCON sannyasis, they don't stop. they they just go on and on and on and on and on. And I guess the last time that they stop is either in the ICU or when they leave the body. That is how they are serving. So I just wish that we give very minimum time for our family services and we take out more time to do our service to our spiritual master and for his mission. You know, so this is the mood of sannyasis actually. Spiritual masters, they're all like they're just running around, running, serving, meeting after meeting, service after service. My God, preaching, reading, learning, teaching, serving, many things, counseling, guiding, organizing, fund collecting, distributing. You know what not they do. So much service. And so that is what is told here. The sannyasi must always be neutral and seek the means to advance in spiritual life, taking full shelter. So by taking such shelter under the lotus feet of Lord, means taking shelter like this under the Guru and under Krishna, these sannyasis are advancing so much in spiritual life. As it is told, seek the means to advance. Seeking is how? Seeking the means means what is the means? Means is service to our spiritual master. How? Like how I just now explained. This way, if we do, then we don't have any time to read any other books. We have just the bare minimum time for 1 or 2 hours to read Srimad Bhagavatam. I mean, for such sannyasi, I'm just saying. They may just read 1 2 hours of Bhagavatam, and then the rest of the time they're just dedicated to seva. And they may be just sleeping maximum of 3 or 4 hours, 4 hours maybe, The remaining time goes for seva, 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 their sadhana, reading, and all the other activities. So if we can also do so much of reading of Bhagavatam, then our sleep time will come down, and we also will have some extra time. And if we can be a little more smarter and quicker in serving our family members in a shorter period of time, then we can have more time to do seva like these sannyasis. We should aspire to become like that. So this is the purport of this particular thing. There's no need to waste time reading other literatures. All we need to do is read Bhagavatam and serve um, by assisting our spiritual master. Yes, the next verse. Canto 7, chapter 13, text number 8. Nashishyan anubadnita granthan naivabhyaset bahun na vyak na vyakhyam upayunjita narambhan arabhet kvachit. Canto 7, chapter 13, text 8, translation by Srila Prabhupada. A sannyasi must not present allurements of material benefits to gather many disciples, nor should he unnecessarily read many books or give discourses as a means of livelihood. He must never attempt to increase material opulences unnecessarily. So, purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. So called swamis and yogis generally make disciples by alluring them with material benefits. There are many so called gurus who attract disciples by promising to cure their disease or increase their material opulence by manufacturing gold. These are lucrative allurements for unintelligent men. A sannyasi is prohibited from making disciples through such material allurements. Sannyasis sometimes indulge in material opulence by unnecessarily constructing many temples and monasteries. But actually, such endeavors should be avoided. Temples and monasteries should be constructed for preaching of spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness, not to provide free hotels for persons who are useful for neither material nor spiritual purposes. Temples and monasteries should be strictly off limits to worthless clubs of crazy men. In the Krishna consciousness movement, we welcome everyone who agrees at least to follow the movement's regulative principles: no illicit sex, no intoxication, no meat eating, and no gambling. In the temples and monasteries, gatherings of unnecessary, rejected, lazy fellows should be strictly disallowed. The temples and monasteries should be used exclusively by devotees who are serious about spiritual advancement in Krishna consciousness. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura explains the word arambhan as meaning matadi vyaparan, which means attempts to construct temples and monasteries. The first business of sannyasi is to preach Krishna consciousness. But if, by the grace of Krishna, facilities are available, then he may construct temples and monasteries to give shelter to the serious students of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, such temples and monasteries are not needed. So, to explain this, I would like to tell you a real life story that happened in our ISKCON during, I guess, I don't know, I guess it is during Prabhupada's time. What happened was there was one person, there was one person who was a thief with with I think 12 criminal files against him, and he was getting caught. He got into bad association of druggists, and taking drugs he had become a thief, and many mistakes he has done, many criminal activities. And he was running and running, and there Hare Krishna Kirtan was going. Hey, you remember the name of him? David something? No? Just check in the list. Name was some Mr. David something, so he was this ISKCON group Harinam Kirtan party was going, and this fellow nicely got in between them, and they entered the temple. This fellow entered the temple, and there they said it was during Prabhupada's time, so they said "Oh, you like to join the temple?" "Ah, yes, yes, I like to join." And then he was agreeing to wear their robes and shave his head. That's what he wanted. He wanted to escape from the police. The police went searching, and because he got in between these people, actually, um, in between the Hare Krishnas, the police missed him. And this fellow nicely shaved, and when they came and searched, they didn't find him. And this fellow started getting up early in the morning, and it was a cold country. And there in the morning, 4 a.m., he'd take a bath. See, this is what Prabhupada is saying. You should not build monasteries to protect such thieves, dacoits, or some lazy people. Now, this one was a thief. Our ISKCON gave shelter without knowing. So, this one should not happen, like Prabhupada is saying. But you see, our method is such a foolproof method. What happened was that early in the morning, this fellow would be woken up, and he had to get up at 4 a.m. and no drugs. And early morning, he has to get up and he has to take a cold water bath in order to save himself from the police. You take cold water bath to act like these people. And they would chant, and he also had to pretend to chant. Means he ended up chanting cannot be pretended. Chanting and patience cannot be pretended. If you pretend to be patient, you manage to be patient. If you pretend to chant with sound coming out, then you have chanted. So he ended up chanting not 1 hour to 16 rounds, because he wanted to be with them. Then they would say, "Hey, you cannot sit in the room. You have to go and do book distribution." And he was forced to go and do book distribution. So it so happened that for some for some months he did that, and doing that, his heart got transformed. And he told to the temple president, probably with tears in his eyes, that I was a dacoit, I was a criminal, and I came in here to be protected from the police. And now I'm so attracted to this moment. Because of this moment, I have given up my bad habits. I'm so happy in this Krishna conscious moment. And I mm, I would like to know, maybe I should now surrender to the jail or whatever. I don't know what he said. I forgot those details. And um, then the temple president said, "Yes, you must go to surrender. You must surrender to the police in that case." So he went to the police. He surrendered very easily. A person who was running away from the police, he surrendered to the police. And the police were surprised. And then he was taken to the court. And in the court, the judge asked, "Okay, so you surrendered. So what did you do there in the ISKCON? In ISKCON, what did you do? Uh, how did you survive there secretly?" Because I pretended like devotee. Pretended like devotee means, what did you do there in ISKCON? He said, early morning I would get up at 4 a.m. I don't know if it was Germany or something, the most coldest country. And then I would take a cold water bath at 4 a.m. And then I would chant 16 rounds sitting down. And then I eat my breakfast and run to distribute books. Until evening, we just distribute books. And evening we come and have our lunch. And then we hear lecture and do some kirtans, and then we sleep to get up next morning once again to do the same thing. He said, the judge said, he said, if in this cold country, if you have been taking a cold water bath, and if you have been chanting, and what more worse punishment can a jail give you? You better go continue there. Better go continue there with the ISKCON and something like that. It's a more approximate, more or less approximate story that I'm telling you. And so, you see, why I told you is that this particular purport says that you should not encourage the thieves or lazy people, useless people to come and stay in the temple. Temple is for serious people. See, this thief who was more worse than a lazy person, he was a criminal. He came, but ours is a foolproof method that even anybody comes, a lazy person comes or a thief comes, you make them get up in the morning. Our temples give shelter to such devotees who are willing to get up in the morning at 4 a.m. or even before. And then they have to take a cold water bath. Then they have to chant. Then they have to hear Srimad Bhagvatam. Then they have to eat breakfast, and then they have to go out in the hot sun to distribute books for from morning to evening, maybe a little bit prasadam they pack and eat something at lunchtime, and at the evening once they're done, they Mhm. come back and have some dinner prasadam, and then they hear again Bhagavad Gita, and then they sleep. It's a lot of hard work. So this hard work who will do? Even a lazy person, if he comes, he will leave. Seeing this, he will leave and go. But if a lazy person does all this, that means he's no more lazy. He's become very active. So, Prabhupada is saying your lifestyle should be such, your temple's lifestyle should be such that either only serious people should stick there, or if a lazy person comes or a criminal comes, he should become a first class devotee who's no more lazy, who is running around doing service, service, service. That's okay. So it should be a home for transformation of the hearts. That should be the style. Otherwise it's enough if you preach. But temples means it will have people. The people should be really serious ones. What's the use of collecting money from people and building many monasteries or temples and making some lazy people stay there who do nothing much, um, uh, you know, and then we use public's money to feed such lazy people, and this is not how it should be. Sannyasi should not be like that. Sannyasi means he should be on his toes. Only a grahastha has this liberty of giving some time for family, and in the remaining time we do whatever is possible. That is the liberty given to a grahastha. But if you're a sannyasi or a brahmachari, then there is no time to rest actually. They are on their toes, very active, very serious people. So, and therefore they're able to really uplift us, the fallen grahasthas, or the practicing grahasthas. They are able to uplift us because they're doing even more than us. Recently I was hearing that a husband, if he's doing 100% sadhana, then he can give 10% advice to the wife. Husband has to be doing 100% service to his guru. Husband has to be 100% submissive to his spiritual master. Then the wife, he can expect 10% submissiveness. 10%, she will follow what the husband says. And if he wants her to do 100%, he should be doing 10,000%, like that. That is the proportion in which the husband should be. So same way, sannyasi means he should be like that. As sannyasi will be doing 100%, then he can expect his disciples will do only 10%. So sannyasi should be doing so much more than grahasthas. Same way, whoever are staying inside the temples, ISKCON temples, should be doing so much more compared to the other grahasthas who are staying outside temple. So this is what we understand from this particular purport. But what is the time now? 6:26. Okay, we can do one more verse. I'm sorry. I took a look. Oh, the other small verses are small. At least you'll feel we went forward. I'll do it quickly. Canto 7, chapter 13, text number 9. Na yatir ashrama prayo dharma hetur mahatmanah shantasya samachittasya vipriyad utava tyajet. So, Canto 7, chapter 13, text number 9. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. A peaceful, equipoised person who is factually advanced in spiritual consciousness does not need to accept the symbols of a sannyasi, such as the Tridanda and a Kamandalu. According to necessity, he may sometimes accept those symbols and sometimes reject them. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. There are 4 stages of renounced order of life: Kutichaka, Baudaka, Parivrajaka, and Paramahamsa. Here in Srimad Bhagavatam considers the Paramahamsa among the sannyasis. The Mayavadi impersonalist sannyasis cannot attain the Paramahamsa stage. This is because of the impersonal conception of the absolute truth. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Shabdate. The absolute truth is perceived in 3 stages, of which Bhagavan, or realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is meant for the Paramahamsas. Indeed, Srimad Bhagavatam itself is meant for the Paramahamsas. Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. Unless one is in the Paramahamsa stage, he is not eligible to understand the Srimad Bhagavatam. For Paramahamsas or sannyasis in the Vaishnava order, preaching is the first duty. To preach, such sannyasis may accept the symbols of sannyasa, such as danda and kamandalu, or sometimes they may not. Generally, the Vaishnava sannyasis, being Paramahamsas, are automatically called Babajis, and they do not carry a kamandalu or danda. Such a sannyasi is free to accept or reject the marks of sannyasa. His only thought is where there is an opportunity to spread Krishna consciousness. Where is where is there an opportunity? His only thought is where is there an opportunity to spread Krishna consciousness? Sometimes the Krishna consciousness movement sends its representative sannyasis to foreign countries where the danda and kamandalu are not very much appreciated. We send our preachers in ordinary dress to introduce our books and philosophy. Our only concern is to attract people to Krishna consciousness. We may do this in the dress of sannyasis or in regular dress of gentlemen. Our only concern is to spread interest in Krishna consciousness. Yes, I have seen my spiritual master coming in trousers and t-shirts and a hat and shaking hands. When devotees do namaskar, he says, no, 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 shake hands, shake hands. Like that. He says no because he does not want to be identified as a sannyasi. I've seen him do that where I was previously staying. Do not reveal confidential informations here. But yes, so Prabhupada is saying that sannyasi's purpose is to spread Krishna consciousness. So he has only one goal. He keep active, very, very active, like a clock, like a seconds hand. No wasting. That seconds hand is always moving, 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 and you can see it move. Sannyasis are like that. We can see them move, and we can see them work so much, so hard. So, but even those people sometimes they don't have to be strictly attached to carrying danda or even wearing their saffron dress. If some countries don't allow such people inside, then there they can just dress up like gentlemen, because the whole purpose is that you have to give Krishna consciousness. If you're a sannyasi, you have to give Krishna consciousness to one and all. Even if the country does not permit, then go in the robes of a gentleman and do the needful. So do the what is the needful? To spread Krishna consciousness. It's the emergency need of the hour in this Kali Yuga, in these days. So whatever needs to be done has to be done like that. So here we see about the Paramahamsas. And Paramahamsa qualities are told. Paramahamsa, Mayavadi cannot be a Paramahamsa because Paramahamsa is all the time into the mood of preaching. Maya, the things everything else is Maya. I'm only, I don't know what. Um, like impersonalist thinks I am only God. Then what's the need to preach to others? But here, Paramahamsas, they are into the mood of preaching. They know that everybody is a servant of God, and servants of God are sometimes in Maya. So those who are in Maya, but who may be favorable, they will give it a try to wake them up and to help them to attract them to Krishna consciousness. So here you see, we get to see some Paramahamsa qualities. And Prabhupada and our Guru Maharaj says that I want all my disciples to become Paramahamsas. He says like that. So what is this Paramahamsa? So here, unless one is in the Paramahamsa stage, but he is not eligible to understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Paramahamsa's one quality is that they are nirmat saranam satham. In Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, I guess it's the second verse. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmat saranam satam vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः. When Srimad Bhagavatam is there, Kim Vaparet? Why do you need any other scriptures? It's meant for Nirmat Saranam Satam, for the saintly souls who are free from envy. It is Param, the subject matter is supreme. It is for the Paramahamsas who are not having any envy. So that is a shloka which says first canto, first chapter, second verse. So for Paramahamsas, let me just spit. I want to cough. Yeah, so to preach, such sannyasis may accept the symbols of sannyas. which has Danda and Kamandalo. Generally, the Vaishnava sannyasis being Paramahamsas are automatically called Babajis. They do not carry Kamandala or Danda. Such a sannyasi is free to accept or reject the marks of sannyasa. His only thought is where there is an opportunity to spread Krishna consciousness. Yeah, Paramahamsas are also always thinking where there is an opportunity to spread Krishna consciousness. Bhakti, can you get me the other definitions of Paramahamsa? So, uh, it is told that and Paramahamsa is one who this particular purport says who knows absolute truth completely. He knows absolute truth as Bhagavan. He also knows Bhagavan means he knows absolute truth as Paramatma and as Brahman. So unless one is in the Paramahamsa stage, he is not eligible to understand Srimad Bhagavatam. So so we should understand the Paramahamsa is one who is so much engaged in doing devotional service, because if you want to understand Krishna, we have to do bhakti yoga. So Paramahamsa is one who is a top class devotee. A Paramahamsa lives to serve his spiritual master and everyone around him. So for Paramahamsa, preaching is the first duty. Yeah. So if you fully absorb in Krishna consciousness, you are a Paramahamsa. This is told as Jayapatak Swami Maharaj in one of the lectures. You know the date of the lecture? 11 September 2023. 11 September 2023 lecture. He says, if you are fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, then you are a Paramahamsa. That's what, if you're fully absorbed in serving your spiritual master, means you're fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So all the time you are running around like a seconds clock. And there's no space for envy because you're only focused on how much more I can go on giving, giving, giving. You're not into taking. When you're thinking of taking, then there is compare. I got this much. Why you got that much? Then there is envy. Here only in the mood is giving. How much I can give? How I can protect my body and health so that I can give more and more. If this is the mood of a Paramahamsa. So, Prabhupada says for such Paramahamsas, they go in their dress or they go in a gentleman dress, it doesn't matter. So, so yes, I can just play that video for you. Fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Then you are a Paramahamsa.
Drink water and milk. Milk away the water. Same way, all we can use no existence as the service. Leave one day behind. This is the Paramahamsa. Just like a swan, a hamsa takes out milk from the water mixture, milk water mixture. It just takes out milk only. Same way, a Paramahamsa converts the material existence into spiritual existence. Correct, no? So this is what is the definition of Paramahamsa. Says this on Jayapatak Swami Maharaj. So that was how Prabhupada is expecting us to be a Paramahamsa. We will move to the next verses so that we can cover a few more verses today. 10 to 7, chapter 13, text number 10. Avyaktalingo Vyaktartho Manishi Unmatta Balavat Kavir Mukhavad Atmanam Sadrishtya Darshayendranam. So, Canto 7, chapter 13, text number 10, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Although a saintly person may not expose himself to the vision of human society, by his behavior, his purpose is disclosed. To human society, he should present himself like a restless child, and although he is the greatest thoughtful orator, he should present himself like a dumb man. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. A great personality, very much advanced in Krishna consciousness, may not expose himself by the signs of a sannyasi. To cover himself, he may live like a restless child or a dumb person.
although he is the greatest orator or poet. So, what I understand here is that, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, that we should not show our tears of ecstasy in public, um, especially when we chant or when we sing kirtans, etc. And we should act like um, means for the sannyasis, for the sannyasis, it is told that they should act like as if they're nothing, like that. It is told here. This is what I understand, because they should not be into showing their wealth of devotion to public, and fall into the trap of getting addicted to labha, puja, and pratishta. One should not start getting attracted to some profit, some cheap adoration, and some fame. Fame is to be treated like stool, you know. So that's why this is the expression given here. In Canto 7, chapter 13, verse number 11. Atrapi udaharanti mam itihasam paratanam प्राह्लादस्य च संवादं मुनेर आजगरस्य च. Canto 7, chapter 13, text 11, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. As a historical example of these learned sages, recite the story of an ancient discussion between Prahlad Maharaja and a great saintly person who was feeding himself like a python. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The saintly person met by Prahlad Maharaj was undergoing Ajagara Vritti, the living conditions of a python, which does not go anywhere but sits in one place for years and eats whatever is automatically available. Prahlad Maharaj, along with his associates, met this great saint and spoke to him as follows. So here we say in Kannada, Ajagara Vritti means Ajagara Vritti means the job of python. That is to just open the mouth and sit. And the tongue keeps out and it's open, a big mouth, a python's mouth so big and open. All the insects, the frogs, they end up just coming. The minute they come, it closes its mouth and eats it up. The minute any bird comes, it's closed, eaten up. So it does not go searching for food, but as the food comes and sits on its tongue, it closes its mouth. So a sannyasi must be satisfied with whatever comes on his way, like that. A saintly person of that kind was met by Prahlad Maharaj. That's what is explained here. Mm. So then the next verse says, into 7, chapter 13, text 12 and 13. Samshayanam daropaste kaviryam sahyasanuni rajas rajasvalais tanu deshair nigudhama tejasam ददर्शलोकान् विचरन् लोकतत्त्वविवित्सया वृतो मत्यै कतिपायै प्रह्लादो भगवत्प्रियः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Prahlad Maharaj, the most dear servitor of Supreme Personality of Godhead, once went out touring the universe with some of his confidential associates just to study the nature of saintly persons. Thus he arrived at the bank of Kaveri, where there was a mountain known as Sahya. There he found a great saintly person who was lying on the ground, covered with dirt and dust, but who was deeply spiritually advanced. So Prahlad Maharaj went around with some of his confidential associates, probably they are nice devotees, and the purpose of going was to go and study the heart of a saintly person. So when he went there like that to the bank of Kaveri, there was a Mount Sahya. There he went, and then what happened? That I think you should hear from tomorrow's class, from text 14 onwards. So we covered on to text 13 is covered. 14th one, tomorrow they have to start. Oh, tomorrow I'm only going to continue. Tomorrow we will continue from the 14th verse. So we stop it at this. Mhm. So if you have any question or comments, you're most welcome. Thank you very much for being with us. Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
very much for explaining so nicely and sharing with your experience. That makes more this class lively and more interesting, And you also refer Goranga Prabhu and all. So the way I see you highlighting his all qualities, so it means you have all those qualities because you values those qualities. That's the only thing you can see. If you don't value those qualities, you're not going to see anything in others. And he's also a very good role model for all of us. And you observing him so nicely and seeing him, it's very, very nice. I never met him personally. Hopefully one day I will meet him. But now meeting you and you saw him, so that's very nice. And you explain all these things. Thank you so much taking your time and explaining us with sharing your experience and your guru and all other things. So thank you again. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. All glories to all my teachers. I am yet to develop those qualities, but yes, I am attracted to those qualities. Therefore, I look for them. And with your blessings, I wish to develop them one day. Thank you so much. I beg your blessings, Prabhuji, so that I may get those qualities. Thank you very
Very,
much for
very,
the kind
very,
words.
very low level. So I really don't have any much lesson, but I'll pray. I'll pray for Krishna. Madan Mohanji in Patamok, temple.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you
Hare
so much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Geeta. Thank you so much for a wonderful class as always. We look forward to your classes. Yeah. I'm just thinking aloud, Mataji. It is not a question, but just thinking. Like today in India, we have been talking about how Christianity, they are trying to convert Hindus. So actually, if we are I was just thinking so many years ago, if we were distributing these books in foreign countries, so to foreigners perhaps, and we have a lot of foreigners in our, in ISKCON and other spiritual, orders. So in a way, one never looked at it that way, but I was just thinking that so we were also kind of converting them. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Mataji. Yeah.
Yes, Hare Krishna. It's yes. What can I say? Actually, Mataji, it is a way of life. Sanatana Dharma is a way of life. If Christians speak about Almighty Lord, the same Almighty Lord only we are speaking about. Almighty, all powerful Lord. He is Krishna. And they're not telling what is the name of Almighty Lord. And they say Jesus is the Son. And I have heard that Bhavishya Purana says that the son of Krishna is going to preach to the shepherds, simpler version of the Vedas. And that I was told that son of Krishna is our Jesus Christ, and he claimed that he's son of God. He said, "I'm not God, I'm son of God," and he preached to the shepherds. So, and Islam also, it means Islam word means surrender, and Allah means they say supreme Lord. Krishna says, I am the Supreme Lord. And they say, Allah is the Creator. Almighty Lord, they say, Almighty Lord is the Creator. Krishna says, I am the Creator. So you see, it's all same thing. Whoever claim themselves as Supreme, they are all done the same thing. They have created the entire universe, and they all say, surrender unto me. They all say, if you surrender unto me, I will forgive all your sins, which means it is actually one person. So there's nothing called conversion. It's a way of life. Some people it's like some people choose to speak Kannada language, some people choose to speak Punjabi, some people choose to speak Urdu or Arabic, some people choose to speak Hindi. But they are all languages, and they all do the same thing, of eating, sleeping, mating, defending, using those languages. Or they all into devotional service, they all into studying how to surrender, and they try to surrender. Yes, like even in Sanatan Dharma, there are three levels of people. Some consider God as just light, Brahman. Some consider God as Paramatma in everybody's heart. Some people consider God as Bhagavan. So these people, some of the religions just consider God as light. So I don't see any difference. It's not any conversion. So this word conversion, I feel, is spoken by those who don't have this understanding what some of us have. Prabhupada said, we are not into conversion. We want to make the others, who claim themselves as Hindus, to become seriously God conscious, and we want Muslims to become serious Muslims and Christians to become serious Christians. But on their own, if they come and get attracted to Prabhupada, then he helped them to be Krishna conscious. Because whether Islam or Christianity, from our perspective, from our understanding of those scriptures, we understand they're doing the same thing what we are doing. It's just that they have lesser information and we have all their information plus more. Our scriptures give more details about Bhagavan feature, which is not told in Islam, which is not told in Christianity. So if they want more information, if the Christians or Muslims, then if they are asking for it, then we are here to help them to become Krishna conscious. If they're not asking for it, okay, if they're just admiring us and they want to take inspiration to do better Christianity or Islam, then we just motivate them to be more serious Christians and Muslims. We are not into conversion, but yes, many of them, by seeing our Prabhupada, they just wanted to follow him, and they got attracted to Krishna. Similarly, recently we finished His Holiness Bhaktistan Sir Thakur Maharaj's appearance or disappearance. I'm sorry for that ignorance. We just had that, and I heard from my daughter, she heard our Guru Maharaj lecture, and she told that, Amma, this Bhaktistan Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, he was Ajanu Bahu Lambita, means his both hands would touch his knees. And he was such a charming personality that in the area around where he was staying in Mayapur Dham, he would go around distributing sweets to Muslim kids. And so many Muslims, just by seeing him and his behavior, they were so much attracted to him that so many Muslims gave land to His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. So many gave free land. Muslims have given land, to our Gaudiya mission. So, from that, what do we understand? That if we are really practitioners of Krishna consciousness, then since we are actually worshipping that same one Lord, which the Muslims are worshipping, same one Lord, which the Christians are worshipping, so they also, the Paramatma in their heart gets attracted to Paramatma in our heart, and they become very favorable. They just get attracted to us. If we're really practicing our devotional service, they get attracted to us, and they become very favorable to do anything for us. uh, uh, so I would say that we all should become like that. And what is that that attracts them to us is that when we see them as not the objects of for conversion, and we see them as already converted. They're already converted because they turn towards Supreme Lord in the name of Allah or in the name of Almighty Lord. Now, what they have to do is they have to become more serious. So, when we have that mood and when we appreciate when they do their namaz or when they do their rosary or when they do their prayers, we in our heart, when we appreciate their devotion and their surrender to the Lord, and we deal with them like how we deal with our devotees, with appreciation and love, their hearts get conquered by us, and they become very favorable for us. My Muslim friends, when I was teaching in school, when my daughter was just 3-4 years old, There, my Muslim friends had told me, when you go back to India, you ensure that you go to schools and you teach your philosophy, what you're learning in ISKCON. Because I just discussed the common points between Islam and Krishna consciousness. And they said that, we have not heard someone speaking like this. This is, you have to go and teach others, like that. So you see, we make them favorable. When we speak common things, we make friendship. Speak common things and appreciate them and motivate them to be more better Hindu, more better Muslims, more better Christians. Um, uh, that is the way we should focus on helping them. And if we really become pure devotees, those people may just not be very satisfied hearing our appreciation, but they just may want to become like us, and then they may want to follow our path. Then they may, like how they followed Prabhupada, then they may take up Krishna Bhakti, knowing that we just are not satisfied with Brahman aspect. We want to know what is Bhagavan aspect. So we come with you, then fine, we accept them. We are not into conversion. Like Prabhupada said that, we are not into conversion. We just want the Hindus to become serious Krishna Bhaktas. And let the Muslims become serious Muslims, Christians become serious Christians. That was the mood. But if someone transformed to a Krishna Bhakt, then that is the power of attraction of Prabhupada's purity because of his devotional service. And we all should, I pray that all of you and me, let us also get those qualities of Prabhupada so that world will be a better place to live. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So anybody has any question or comments, or otherwise we will end the class.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Dandavat pranam. Sorry, Prabhuji, go ahead. Such
Hare
a
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I just wanted to thank you for the wonderful class, just like your name. Your lecture was full of Amrut. Mataji, my question is about, you said about husband being 10,000% to get the wife to 100%. But what if the spouse is not very favorable? How can we be patient and make them favorable? Like if they're not allowing you to have association or welcome Vaishnavas to your home. And because sometimes because of that, you are not able to practice as much as you can. You cannot get to the 10,000% because of the obstacles. So how to do that? Mataji, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Nice. Thank you for the video, Darshan. I was very happy to see you and grasp your mood, what you're saying. I understand. Yes, if the wife is favorable, there's nothing like it. Your house will become Vaikunta. You can do a lot. But if the wife is not favorable, you can do a lot inside your heart, Prabhu, not outside. Outside means you get the association of devotees, they come home, you both together, you will serve, you'll make them happy, and you'll both go together for yatras, you'll both love hearing lectures. He'll be hearing only lectures while cooking, and you will be also hearing lectures, and you'll be trying to practice everything like that. But if your wife is not favorable, then um, um, internally for practice, it is told in Krishna consciousness, everywhere it is told that nobody can stop us from progressing in Krishna consciousness, because our Krishna conscious practice increases with the absorption in our devotional service. And for absorption, we don't need cooperation of the spouse so much. For absorption, one can be mentally very absorbed, one can be very absorbed in devotional service while dealing with the spouse who is not Krishna conscious. um, um, that's one thing. Our absorption in Krishna consciousness is a different thing. And if we have the cooperation of the wife or of the husband, then externally also we are Krishna conscious, internally also we are Krishna conscious. If we don't have the cooperation, then we are secretly, internally Krishna conscious, while outwardly not showing anything. Like how we saw in one of the purports that sannyasis are asked to go in gentleman-like dress. They're externally not even supposed to show. Externally, they have to say hi, hello, and internally, inside the house, they're going to preach, and outside, they're going to show gentlemanly dealings. Like that, the husbands have to play the same role of externally just pat the wife and say, hi, hello, you are so good, keep appreciating her. Remember, if you have to give any suggestion to the wife or take any favor from the wife, the condition is, or give any correction, favor, give correction to the wife, or take favor from the wife, or anything, in any way you want something out of your wife or from your husband, you should do two good things to them, or to give correction, tell two good points, appreciation to them, and then give one feedback. This is what I learned from His Grace Anuttama Prabhu in his Mayapur lecture. After the lecture, I asked him a question for which he told me this answer, that to give a correction, you should give two appreciation and one feedback for a spouse. Same way, you want some favor, you do, you appreciate two things, and maybe you try to do some favor to them, whatever is possible. They might have cooked, you go and keep the plate. They might have served, you go and after eating, you take out the plates and you helped in washing. Is try to please them, by small acts, which they want, wherever they need little help, just go and do that, though it may be an austerity for you to do it. Win their heart, and then they will at least not oppose what you want to do. When they don't oppose, ensure that you make your life opposition free life. If you cannot get cooperation, at least may you not be opposed by your family members. If you're not going to be opposed, then they will be doing their work. You will be supporting them externally little, and internally you'll be internally hearing lectures and meditating on those points, and you'll be trying to just do your best to please Krishna. And preaching is one activity which, if nobody is there to listen to you, you can preach on Facebook or on YouTube. Maybe one person will watch, two people will watch, doesn't matter. When you do daily posting, your quality will improve, and over a period of 1 or 2 years, then more people will join, because you're regularly posting, more will join. By the time your purity will increase, your speech effectiveness will increase, and it will become more beneficial. When it becomes more beneficial, Krishna will bring more souls to your classes. So this way, by your preaching, your learning will become thorough. You will be finding it easy to apply, because you are repeatedly hearing and repeatedly repeating it. So this way, you can save time, and you can do preaching also. Preaching will be very purifying, apart from chanting of the holy names. But one thing mainly, I again repeat that, make your relationship with the spouse very favorable, by assisting them, by appreciating them. You want one thing, you do two favors and take one thing out, like that. So if you can do that, your life will be more easy, Prabhu. And doing 100 things means, give your heart 100% to your guru's orders. 100%, like you be Paramahamsa, in other words, is fully Krishna conscious internally. Externally, no. Internally, one advantage is, when only one of the spouse is doing, the pain in the heart is so intense that I don't have support of my spouse. That pain is so intense that with that pain, when we turn to Krishna, our absorption also is intense. When our absorption is intense, what spoils our absorption is our fight with our spouse. So that's why I told, do not fight. Even if you want to give a feedback, or even if you want to take a favor, do two positive things, appreciate two things, give one correction, do two sevas and ask for one help, like that. Like that, when you do, you'll keep a peaceful relationship. So keep at least peaceful relationship, and then that relationship is not going to be an obstruction. If we fight, that will cause hridaya granthi, and that hridaya granthi, when you want to do something, when you see them, you get little angry, and you don't feel like, and that much time, mind does not focus on Krishna. It focuses on the negative of the other person. No, only see the positives in the spouse. Instead of saying, oh, if they were favorable, I would have done more. They're not favorable. Instead of saying like that, what should I do now to make this person not get offended by me? What should I do now to make this spouse feel more comfortable in my presence? So if they are angry with us or unhappy with us, now what should I do to make this person happy? Not why this person is like this, because of this person, my devotional service is not so good. No, not never, never, never. Prabhupada said we should be like a honeybee. So practice means let's start from there. Let us be like a honeybee and not like a housefly. Honeybee means they only see what is good in the other person, and they're very appreciative and very grateful for the good. So if we can be very grateful and appreciative and we serve them, and we see them as one candidate for our own preaching, so our preaching to our spouse is by serving them, by appreciating them. Is if they start admiring us, that is level one, means they're coming closer to be Krishna conscious. First level is that they get attracted to us. Second level is that they become very deep admirers of ours. Third level is that they become helpless followers of ours. And when they are helpless followers, they listen to the instructions we give them. They start following, they become Krishna conscious. Then they will be like how you want them to be now. Then they will assist you in inviting people home, and they will join you for satsang. So first level is that they have to admire us, then they have to get deep attraction for us, then they want to become our followers. So let them start admiring us. For them to admire, we have to be all good in every way. This also 100% good means what? See, they may be into 30% quarreling or finding fault. If we are 100% so sweet with them, in 100% we don't hurt them, we give them all good, this 100%, then they will be like our 30%. If they were bad to us, now they'll become 20% bad. Then when they experience our goodness 100% for one more year, one more year, they'll be only 15%. They won't be able to maintain 20% badness towards us. Then it become 10%, then 5%. So over a period of time, they then when it becomes 0% hatred from their side, then they will very quickly, they'll become admirers, and then they'll want to just listen to our instructions. So till they come to that point, we should put an effort to see the good and appreciate. When we give a correction, we should appreciate. I actually went and told Anuttama Prabhu when he said that, see, when we give a correction, we will have a mood like, you're less than me and I know better, so I am telling you that this is wrong. This mood will be there that I am superior to you and you are inferior. This mood will be there when we give a correction. This is not the way. We have to be humble when we give a correction. He didn't even use the word correction. He said feedback. When we give a feedback, we should be very humble. He said, I just thought that to anybody, I don't arrogantly correct. It's very rare. And then I thought to one person to whom I just say this is wrong is to my husband, which is very bad. A wife has to be submissive, and I'm thinking I know better than my husband, and I'm telling, and how bad of me, I thought, and I felt a total regret. After the class, I raised my hand, but I raised my hand later, so I didn't get a chance to ask question. So after the class, I went after him and I told him that your class was so beneficial. I'm very grateful to you because it helped me to speak the feedback to my own husband in a more respectful way. So, um, so I may tell my husband that, what is this? You're getting angry for everything. It's like I don't get angry and you're getting angry. You're less and I'm superior. I don't get angry. It's this arrogance, you see, with this arrogance, it's not good. So I, I treat little cheaply, when I give correction. So it's not good. So Anuttama Prabhu said, yeah, I forgot to tell you that in the class that actually when you want to give feedback, you should give two appreciation and then you should give one correction, one feedback. He said like that. I thought that was wow. But I felt that the negatives that I hold, to my spouse is to an extent significant that it does not make me so free to appreciate from my heart. So I realized that that is where I am wrong. That is where I lack the humility. So I decided that hereafter, if I want to give any feedback, then I will make a list of the positives. And since then, I have been giving not 2 but 3, 4, as many as I remember. I give feedback through WhatsApp, and I write all the positives, and then I say if this was like this, it was nice, and then again some positives. That's all. I don't even want to say it in the mouth. And he comes face to face, and he just picks up the same topic, and then now I have to speak from the heart. Typing is easy, but it has to come from the heart. Then I think that now is the opportunity. I should use it. And yeah, Anuttam Prabhu told, see, it's an opportunity. We are representing Prabhupada movement. It's an opportunity. Everything is an opportunity. You getting to meet your spouse and giving an appreciation is an opportunity, or correction is an opportunity, or you meeting someone like a milk vendor or a grocery store fellow, or a watchman, or um, anybody, a doorkeeper, anybody, we are recognized with our tilak as ISKCON people. So they're all seeing like, how are these? They are doing something spiritual. So how much are they better than us? They think that they are better than us. They're wearing tilak, and they're thinking they're doing something big, which we are not doing. So how big they are actually? They see that by our behavior. So every single dealing with every single person, including our spouse, first and foremost our family members, especially with whom we have difficulties. It's an opportunity. So we have to use the opportunity to bring Prabhupada's name high by our behavior. If we do that over a period of time, they will develop that respect for us. Now I am working on it. Again, I beg all your blessings for me and for all my kind of people in this call, including this Prabhuji, huh? So that we all may do well in appreciating from our heart. And so to appreciate, we should first of all know that they're Krishna given people, not our spouse. They're Krishna given people, Krishna's people. Mainly they have come to help us to become pure devotees. So now we have to use their existence for us to become pure. See, one way to get purity is to invite the devotees home. Another way to get purity is to use the existing people in the house for us to become pure. How? By just seeing the good in them, by being very respectful, by being very appreciative, by serving them, all with the intention of may this please Krishna, because it's a Krishna given spouse. May it please Krishna. So when we are doing it to them only, there's no need to bring another devotee to serve. We're serving the Krishna given people in the family in a nice way, but do it in very minimum time so that you have more time for your reading, for your preaching, etc., for recollecting, and for involving in some other programs. And take them out if they're not into Krishna consciousness. Take them out to malls, take them out, do some shopping for them, give some pocket money or else to them, sudden surprise gifts give them in the form of cash, and ask them, you can go shopping, or I will come and I can shop for you this much worth thing, like that. So just please them, and in a detached way, so that they don't become unfavorable and they stay favorable. So this way we can use the opportunity to become Krishna conscious. And when we do all this, there will be deep pain inside. See, I don't have a spouse who was a real serious devotee, but this Krishna given. Therefore, now let Krishna help me to use this person to become Krishna conscious. So when we do it in that mode, then Krishna will bless us with internal serious absorption in Krishna consciousness. And that will help us to become a very nicer person to everyone else around. If we can be very nice to the ones who are a little tough with us in the family, then it's easy to be nice with those who are not so tough outside. So we will become more attractive to the others, and we will be able to use every opportunity with others to impress them towards the devotees who are wearing ISKCON tilak. Means by our sweetness, people around will get simply attracted to us. And so we have used the opportunity to attract them to us. So then they will slowly want to learn from us. They will want to become devotees. Maybe one spouse will not become a devotee, but 10 others will become devotees. If we learn to please our one spouse at home, 10 others outside will become devotees easily. This spouse may take 10 years time, but within 10 years there will be 10 others getting becoming more serious devotees. This is my understanding, Prabhu, with my personal practical experience. I could just tell you this much because I'm just here. I have not yet advanced more than this. Hare Krishna. I
Hare
hope that
Krishna,
will answer.
Prabhuji. Mataji, thank you so much for the wonderful examples and your realization. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate it so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Is that all? Or anybody else has anything else to ask?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for this nectarian class and sharing about Gaurang Prabhu. Yes, Mataji, and your classes are always nectarian, and we are so blessed that you are coming giving your association tomorrow again. And Geeta Mataji is a lot of fan of you, Mataji. She loves your classes. So she always share with me. And yeah, everyone loves your classes. So you have a lot of fans on your call.
Thank you, Mataji.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to all my wonderful teachers by whose blessings I could just speak whatever I could speak, by whose blessings I could live that some things which I could share with you. My prayers for all my beloved devotees here, that may we all become wonderful, nectarian, grand disciples of Srila Prabhupada with nice qualities of our spiritual masters and of Srila Prabhupada, so that because once these people leave the world, then we have to represent Prabhupada's movement. So it's urgent, and it's very urgent and important that we all become deeply Krishna conscious internally, for which we have to be like Gauranga Prabhu, not wasting a moment and just go on and on and on, spend very little time in the kitchen and cleaning and cooking, and keep more time aside for our devotional service. And let's do more for ISKCON movement, so that when they leave, we can also do something for the movement. Hare Krishna. Shall we end now?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. So I was waiting if anyone has question or comment. But yes, Mataji, thank you so much for your association and your time. And let's pay blessings to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha Kalpatarvesha Krupa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavanta ki jai. Namacharya Shri Das Thakur ki jai. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Her Grace Amrut Madhavi Mataji ki jai. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
See you
Hare
tomorrow.
Krishna. See you tomorrow. Yes.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare